Hi everyone, Miss Kilroy here. Today I'm going to be explaining the finger maze lab. So today's lab, you are going to get a piece of paper that has a maze on it, and instead of using a pencil, you can see there's little punctures through the paper so that you can feel the maze with your finger. There's little bumps in it. So the purpose of the lab is to see what causes a person to go through the finger maze faster. Okay, so you're going to complete this piece of paper. Today, this is your rough draft, and here's kind of the lab setup. Okay, so with a partner, one person is going to be the timer. They're going to be taking the time it takes to go from start to finish. The other partner is going to close their eyes. They're going to take their right hand pointer finger, that's their pointer finger, and they're going to go through the maze from start to finish. The room's going to be quiet so that there aren't any distractions. You're going to go through the maze 5 times. Every time you go through the maze, rotate the paper. This way the person who's closing their eyes doesn't memorize the maze, so if the start to finish kind of moves a little bit, they won't be able to memorize that. Make sure the other partner is timing and writes down that time. Then, once person A has gone through 5 trials, the other person has gone through 5 trials, and you have their times of the control group, you're going to change one thing about the maze. So this is going to be your independent variable, and here are your choices what you can change to see what causes you to go through the maze faster. So instead of using your right hand pointer finger, you can use your left hand pointer finger. You still have to keep your eyes closed, though, for all of this. Maybe you can change it to go from finish to start. Instead of going from start to finish, go the other way. You still have to have your right pointer finger, though, because remember, we're only changing one thing at a time. Maybe you want to use your right hand pinky finger, so using a different finger. Maybe instead of a quiet room, you put in headphones. Maybe instead of a quiet room, your partner is coaching you the whole time. Maybe your partner is distracting you by poking you in the shoulder, or maybe it's kind of noisy, so you're distracted a little bit. So you're going to choose one thing to change, and you guys are going to continue to fill this out. So you'll need to write a hypothesis. So for example, if we use our right pinky finger, then we will go through the maze faster. Okay, just an example. Materials are the things you're using. So you're going to use a stopwatch or a timer. You're going to have the finger maze. And then depending on if you need something like this, it'd be your headphones. But for me, I'm not. The control group is the boring group the first time you go through it. So it'll be, for me in this example, my right pointer finger. My independent variable is the one thing I changed it. So I changed it to my right pinky finger. Dependent variable is what I'm measuring. We're going to measure the time in seconds, how long it takes to go through the maze. And things that are the same. We're going to have the same maze, same person. Eyes are always going to be closed. Okay? And then here are the steps. Okay, if a partner's finger leaves the paper, partner, please gently push it back onto the maze where they were so they can continue back on. You want to alternate the control and the variables. So for example, if my control is right pointer finger, okay, and my independent variable is right pinky finger, I'm going to first go through the maze with my right pointer finger, and I'll get a time. And then I'll go with my right pinky finger. And then I'll go back over here. When you're all done with 5 trials per one for each partner, you're going to fill out the analysis table. You want to find the average time for the control, average time for the variable, write in what is the control and the variable, give me the range, highest number minus the lowest number, and then you're going to use create a graph to make the graph. You can sketch it out on here if that's easier, but you're going to make a bar graph. Okay, so my title, average time to go through the maze. X-axis will leave blank. The y-axis is always your dependent variable. Okay, so it's going to be the time here. I'm going to change it from items to 1, groups to 2. I'm going to have my right pointer finger in one group and my right pinky finger over here. I'll put in my average times, whatever I calculate it to be. Max value, make sure it's bigger than these numbers, and then we'll preview it. Okay, you can change the colors. Then when you're ready, you'll do print, save, download it, and then you'll put it in your final draft. So save that. Also be sure to take a photo of the materials you use in your experimental setup because that goes in your final draft. Then when you're done with the analysis, you need to write a conclusion, which is just one sentence, stating if your hypothesis was accepted or rejected. Then in the discussion, it's a bit longer, you need to explain your experiment. What did you do in the experiment? What was your independent variable? Was your hypothesis right or wrong? What do you think happened? What caused you to go through that maze faster or slower? What were some errors that could have occurred? Okay, you're going to use evidence to support your claim, which means you must circle at least 2 numbers. Where are you going to get those numbers? They're going to come from your analysis. Okay, you probably want to include your average time to prove to me which one was faster and why. When you're all done with your rough draft, you'll go to Google Classroom, go to classwork, go to our labs, and we've got Finger Maze Lab Final Draft. And all you're going to do is replace everything over here. Okay, so it has a diagram, it is a picture of the setup, your graph, and then kind of everything retyped. All right, good luck.